Hello everyone, this is Pico Entertainment and we are back again, and we're going to switch gears now and talk about football. And I haven't done a football video for a long time now because a lot of updates have been more rumour or speculation. So when I do these videos I kind of wait till we get actual confirmations before doing a video on them. But of course the breaking news regarding football is that the Premier League will return back on June 17th. We have a couple of games to begin with, and then the initial next round of games is proposed to go ahead on June the 20th. So I'm just going to go over quickly some of the main points concerning this return and then talk about whether it's good or bad for the game going forward. So the two games that are due to be restarted on June 17th are Man City against Arsenal and Aston Villa against Sheffield United. These are the two games in hand that Man City and Aston Villa had following the League Cup final that was played back in February, I believe. So once they play these two games, this will then leave all teams having played 29 games, and then that will leave then 9 games left to complete the season. So that makes sense as well, the fact that we just have a level playing field for all clubs involved. And as I mentioned before, once we get to that level playing field, then we will have the next round of games on June the 20th, the full round of fixtures. There are currently at the moment 92 matches left within the Premier League, so nine games left. So I've always believed that, of course, depending on how the current situation changes, I think, maybe 2 games a week that clubs could complete the league relatively swiftly and quickly if everything goes smoothly as planned ahead. So of course as well, games will be played behind closed doors, which is obvious as well. And it's been recently announced, of course, that every game will be broadcast live within the UK. So majority of games will be shown between Sky and BT Sport. They'll kind of distribute the games. We all know they both have their Premier League TV rights on here, but there will be some available on streaming platforms such as Amazon Prime as well. So that's always good. I just think it's great that all fans will be able to view matches and all games going ahead on it. That's very good for morale, and also as well, that's very good in terms of just keeping people staying in, which I'll talk about in a minute on here. So one issue that is also brought up is that they need to confirm where the games are going to be played. So will they be played home and away as standard, or will they be played at neutral venues? The big concern here is crowds gathering around grounds just to get a sight of the players, or maybe get an inside view of what's going on here. So that's a very big concern. How are they going to police that? Because whilst there will be people that stay in, there will be a lot of people that will kind of break the rules, breach the regulations, and travel and gather around the grounds, which of course increases the risk of the virus spreading as well. So that's something they really have to think about here, whether they'll kind of do the neutral venue plan or just kind of work which games will be more plausible to play around to avoid kind of big crowd congestion on this. That's another concern that they have going forward. So overall, on this plan, I agree with it. I've always felt that there all should always be an attempt to try and finish the league when we can, because it will just have ramifications going forward for the next season going ahead. So many people have said that due to the European Championships being postponed a while back, so if we start on June, this would kind of give us an opportunity, if everything goes well, to have the matches played through June and July, and hopefully we can get everything finished by the end of July, and then the season can kind of have a normal restart late August. Again, this is all depends on how the virus reacts and how the numbers of infections and the death toll accumulate or hopefully decrease over time. So that's the kind of initial plan, and I think the hopeful scenario that I think everybody involved would like to have, that we can kind of get everything done by the end of July and then restart again maybe to the end of August. I think that would be the most ideal scenario for everybody involved. And yeah, I just think it's good for morale. It's good for fans to finally have football again. I mentioned before about the broadcast, and I think that's a great idea. And in many ways, by showing every game live between all platforms and making them free to air, I do believe the first 4 or 5 games will actually be shown on BBC live, free to air. And that's quite a milestone as well for BBC. I mean, I can't even remember if they actually shown a Premier League match live. May have gone way back to the days of Des Lynam and Grandstand back in the old days, but I can't really remember a time when BBC has shown a Premier League game live. So that's actually, a great kind of achievement for them. And Match Today and everybody involved in the BBC will be very happy about that. But I think that's great, and that could actually have a positive effect in keeping people in, because yes, people have been stuck in and they want to venture outside. But if there's a way that they can kind of have the Premier League on their screens, and we've seen recently the lockdown ruling has kind of been eased a bit, where you can kind of have now or be surrounded by 6 people at one time. So a lot of people can have their family members, and if as long as they stay at the safe distancing, they can have more of their family members around them and watch the games. Okay, so many people will feel that's a much more safer scenario than trying to travel out to a pub or another place to watch the football, right? If they can stay in the home and they're very secure in watching all this live football, which they're going to get on a daily fix, that would be great for the fans. Okay, so I think that's a great idea, and I think, hopefully they manage to pull that off. That will have a positive effect in kind of people keeping them staying in and adhering more to the social distancing laws on here. So again, a lot of people will bring up the point about the players' health and concern, and yeah, that's always a case. And I'm pretty sure they've monitored a lot of what's going on for the Bundesliga. As far as I know, there's been no kind of big stories about any massive outbreaks. They've had, I think, now 2 rounds of games within the Bundesliga, and so far everything is going quite well. I know you can't make a kind of apples to apples comparison because the virus has had a different effect and incident rate within Germany. I think their death tolls and incidents has been far lower than what the UK has, due to them able to enable the testing initiatives, etc., in the long run. So you can't kind of make the same comparisons, but you can use it as a kind of barometer to kind of see what's going on. Mainly on the concept of, you can do this, you can finish the league and have these football matches behind closed doors and still kind of coexist and have everything reach its completion. So again, I think that's great. It's always good to have these leagues finished. I do know that La Liga is set to return around about June the 11th. I'm hearing they're going to have consecutive games going on for 32 days or something like that. And Serie A is also due to come back on June the 13th as well. And again, it's great to see the leagues being finished. I know we've had other scenarios where we've seen the likes of League Two within the UK and the Scottish Championship and being voided, as long as the French League as well and the Dutch League, they've always been voided. That's their own scenarios and situations, but I think, I've never believed in avoiding, only if you don't award anyone. So no promotion, no relegation, no titles being given. If you're going to void it, void everything. If you want to persist and carry on, then carry on and see the league through. So yeah, I just think it's a positive outlook. And yes, there are concerns over players' health. I think so far they've had around 2,752 tests, and only 12 have come back positive so far. So they are going to have to keep a track on that. But I think if they test regularly, then anybody who does test positive will obviously be taken out and put into self-isolation. And then anybody who has negative test will be clear enough to play. So as long as they're clear enough to play, I don't really see the issue or problem with that. As long as testing is done regularly throughout and players can play, then that shouldn't be an issue. I know the squads have been involved in a non-contact training, and then they're going to soon proceed with the contact training. So everything is being done very considerably. This is not a rush. They've had a lot of time to think and consider all the factors into play on here. So hopefully we get the league starts and it can run smoothly, and then we can progress forward and finish the league. And like I said, it will be a very positive morale for the society in general, and have people hopefully adhering more to the social distancing by staying in, because now they will have live football on the screen, so they can sit down and watch in the comfort of their own home and not actually venture out into the grounds, causing an increase of the spread of the virus. So I think it's all positive on there. So those are my just quick initial views on the Premier League restarting. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think we should hold back? I know recently Steve Bruce has come out saying, the manager of Newcastle is saying that we should maybe hold off for a couple of weeks. I know people have raised the issue of maybe the players may not be full fitness, but they have to come back into it sometime, and okay, they won't be match fit, but they've still been training and hopefully they've still been dieting and looking after themselves. So yeah, maybe the first couple of matches will be not great, and until players work their way back into it. But overall, I think it's a positive start. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I will try and provide more updates on the football as it comes along. Again, I'll wait until there's actual confirmations and we get actual events being reported before making the videos on here. So those are my thoughts for now on the Premier League restarting. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very soon.